What's up, Tailgaters? You're in the booth with Tailgate Nate today. Welcome to my channel. Bowl season again is finally here. We're going to be previewing the bowl games as they kick off, so we're going to go in that order. And we're on the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, the second bowl game that will be kicking things off here in bowl season. It's the Jacksonville State Gamecocks in their first season as an FBS program. They've made a bowl game, and the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns. We'll dive into everything Gamecocks and Cajuns here in a minute. But first, I just got to thank you for all the love and support the channel has seen. You guys killed it with your support in the regular season. Continue to help this channel grow during bowl season by doing anything you can to interact with the channel, because anything you do to interact with the channel helps to support it, whether that's as small as doing what you're doing now and just by watching the video. A big thing you can do is subscribe and ring the bell, or liking, commenting, sharing, or anything else you can think of to help support what I do here on YouTube. It does mean a lot to me. I appreciate whatever you guys are willing and able to do. And just as I'm going to say throughout every single bowl game preview prediction that I do, sometimes it can be a little tricky to keep track of who's entered the portal, who's opting out, and things like that. So with the information that I have as of recording this video, I'll do my best. But if there's anything I missed or anything else that comes out, Gamecock fans, Cajun fans, leave it in the comment section down below. I'll be greatly appreciative of whatever you guys are willing and or able to do. But enough about all of that. Let's dive on in here to the game between the Gamecocks and Cajuns, which honestly, as of recording this video, not a whole lot of opt-outs, not a whole lot of transfers, just one key player on the side of the Cajuns that we'll talk about when we get there. So let's start with the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. Zion Webb is that quarterback, and this is a rush-first offense here. However, Zion Webb does have the ability to pass the ball at times. 1,281 yards, does have only 5 touchdowns to 6 picks. Logan Smothers has come in and played here and there. Who knows if we'll see Smothers well, we're definitely going to see Zion Webb. We know that. Who knows if Logan Smothers, a former Nebraska transfer, comes in and tries to throw the ball. If Jacksonville State gets down, they need a big pass play, whatever have you. So we'll see if that ends up happening, but it will be Zion Webb running things with the offense, quite literally and figuratively running, because he's the second leading rusher on this team, 638 yards, 7 touchdowns. Malik Jackson is another really good running back here, as is Anwar Lewis. So this is a team that you see there with the stats, 232 rush yards per game. This is a rush-first offense. It doesn't really turn the football over a whole lot, only 15 turnovers on the air, and it does a really good job at being able to protect the quarterback, 15 sacks. Now, that number may be a little bit deflated in this case because this is a team that pretty much here, they have 315 passing attempts on the year and 573. So almost a 2-to-1 ratio of rushing to passing. So that number might be a little bit deflated, but I think for the most part, this is an offensive line that does a really good job, and they're a pretty solid third down offense as well. Defensively, well, for as good as they are rushing the football, they're also really good at being able to slow the run down as well. This is a team led by their absolutely phenomenal linebacking and defensive, well, okay, not phenomenal defensive backing unit, absolutely phenomenal linebacking unit in Quay Drake. He's got 86 tackles. That leads the team. Lalatia Hale is another really good player there. 55 tackles. Worth is there as well. And this is a defensive back group that generates a lot of tackles, but generally has a big problem at being able to slow down the explosive pass play. 248 passing yards per game. Not a great number at that. You definitely want that number to be a lot lower, but you take a look at that right-hand column. I mean, this is a Jacksonville State defense that generates pressure. They have 37 sacks this year. They force turnovers, 25 turnovers, and while the secondary doesn't do a great job at limiting the big pass play, 16 of those 25 turnovers are picks. So the Gamecocks are a ball-hawking secondary, also with 40 passes defended, with the 9 fumbles recovered. This is a Jax State team that overall you got to watch out for. They are very dangerous in the trenches. Louisiana is going to have to try to win the battle in the trenches here. But let's talk about what they do offensively, because this is also another really good rushing offense. Now, this is a team on their third-string quarterback after Zion Chris got hurt, after Ben Wooldridge got hurt. They are now on Chandler Fields. 914 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 3 picks. Good weapon throughout the season for this Louisiana Lafayette offense. Running wise, he really is not as much of a running quarterback as what Chris is, and at times what Wooldridge can be. Chandler Fields is very much so a sit in the pocket, throw, I'm going to beat you with my arm type guy, and he does have some pretty good weapons to work with. Jacob Bernard, Peter LeBlanc, the tight end Neil Johnson. There are some good weapons here, but this is an offense that does run the ball first. They are led by Jacob Cabody, 129 carries, 729 yards, 5.7 yards per carry, and 7 touchdowns. Washington, Perry, Davis, those are some other running backs that have had carries for them. But this is a team that does struggle with turnovers. They do have 20 turnovers on the season, and they've allowed 23 sacks on the season so far. However, pretty good team on third down offensively. So if this is a Louisiana team that wants to get by this Jacksonville State defense, well, you're going to have to rely on Chandler Fields to make a couple of really big plays, and this rushing attack is really going to have to get going. You're going to have to try to win the battle in the trenches there. And again, we'll talk more about that later. The one notable player that is not going to be playing in this game on either side is Kendra Gant. He is the 4th leading tackler for the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns, and he is gone. Had 64 tackles, 6 sacks, 3 fumble recoveries, including a scoop and score this season. So a very dynamic, very good leader on this defense is going to be gone for Louisiana. However, your top 2 leading tacklers in the linebacker room in Casey Osai and Jasper Williams are coming back, as well as your second leading tackler there in Tyrone Lewis in the secondary. Does also have 3 picks on the season, which does lead this team. Now, this is not a team that really is going to beat you with their rush defense, beat you with their pass defense, but they do force a fair amount of turnovers, 10 interceptions, 9 fumbles on the season, and much like Jacksonville State, they generate pressure. 2.75 sacks per game is what the Ragin' Cajuns have done so far this season. So the battle in the trenches, both these offenses love to run the football. Both these pass rushes are very, very good. The battle in the trenches is going to be a huge thing. However, I do give the advantage to the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. Guys, this is all going to lead us into my what to watch for, your keys to the game, some things I've talked about before, some things I'll talk more about. They're just some things I think you should keep an eye on while you're paying attention to this one. Zion Webb. I do believe he's going to end up being the starting quarterback here in this game. Again, wouldn't surprise me to see Logan Smothers either start or play a little bit here, but for all intents and purposes, Zion Webb will be starting, and he is going to run. We know that he averages 5.5 yards per carry, has 7 rushing touchdowns on the year. Zion Webb is a dual threat quarterback, but his passing ability definitely has been in question. His touchdown to interception ratio is not great. 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Zion Webb is a guy that might have to hit some shots here. Louisiana knows the task at hand. They know that if you want to stop Jacksonville State, you have to be able to stop the run. And I think Louisiana has enough pieces to be able to do that. Zion Webb is going to get out of the pocket and run, but he's got to be able to use his wide receivers to hit some shots down the field, of which he has a lot of talent in that wide receiver room. I've talked about it before, and the stats back it up, but the Jacksonville State Gamecocks is as strong defending the run as they are offensively. That sentence there is worded really weird, and I see that the grammar is not the best. But basically, what I'm trying to say is Jacksonville State is as strong stopping the run as they are offensively. There should be an R in there, but if you want to beat Jacksonville State by trying to stop the run, that's what you got to do. But you also can't go out and try to beat Jax State by running the ball. That's not going to work too well for you either. So being able to find that balance and win the battle in the trenches is key if you want to beat a team like the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. But I also do believe the Gamecocks, while the battle in the trenches is important, we'll talk about who I think is going to win it in a minute, you also got to be able to control third downs, which I think the Gamecocks will. Offensively, I think they're going to be able to do what they need to do against Louisiana, but defensively, they got to be able to stop Louisiana on third down. This is a pretty solid third down defense. I think they have what it takes to do it. That'll be a big key. Now, with Fields at quarterback, the offense is going to be more balanced. Now, again, the reason that is because Fields is just not a running quarterback, much like what Wooldridge, or the other name is escaping my mind here, Chris. So Wooldridge and Chris had their moments where they could get out of the pocket and run. Fields is not that. So the offense, I do think they're going to try to lean on the run here and be able to beat Jacksonville State in the trenches. But you also got to be able to throw the ball because, again, this is Jacksonville State. That's pretty darn good at being able to stop the run. This is the team that also has a really good pass rush. So they're going to need to be able to transition that into rush defense. You need to get into the backfield quickly, not only to try to get the Zion Webb on the ground during the off chance that he drops back to pass, but you got to be able to get back there quickly to stop the quarterback draw that they like like to run for Zion Webb, and also to force the issue in the backfield and generate some tackles for loss. But the topic, again, that is so important in this game. If you want to beat a team like Jacksonville State, you have to win the battle in the trenches. The advantage in the trenches is already in favor of the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, and I don't really see any reason to why that is going to change here in this game. I think the Ragin Cajuns have their moments, but the battle in the trenches will be won by the Gamecocks. The Cajuns will force some turnovers. They'll make things tricky, but too much scoring, too much running around for the Cajun defense. They'll get tired. Zion Webb in this rushing attack will take over. The rush defense will take over. The pass rush will even get home when Chandler Fields drops back to pass, and the Jacksonville State Gamecocks will win the R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. That's what I got for this one. Let me know how you guys see it playing out in the comment section below, and as always, remember to play hard but tailgate harder. I'll see all you guys in the next video. Goodbye.